同学们好. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about numbers and phone numbers. So first, let's start with some cultural notes and some number conventions. In Mandarin, just like in English, we have lucky and unlucky numbers. However, those numbers are a little bit different. For example, in Mandarin, lucky numbers include 8, which sounds like making a fortune, so it's used to mean making a fortune, or 6, which means like smooth or skilled, so people might even type that in. For example, if you play video games, people might type that in chat if someone makes a great play. Again, these numbers you'll see in varying amounts. So for example, if someone is giving someone some money for their wedding, which is a common practice, they'll try to pick a number with a lot of 6s in it or a number with a lot of 8s in it as the denomination of the money. So in Mandarin, 666 is a lucky number, not an unlucky number. The unlucky number is 4 because it sounds like death, so that's naturally not very auspicious. There are stories of people refusing to live on the 4th floor or refusing to call a phone number that has too many 4s in it. The veracity of these stories might be a little bit dubious, but there are these stories out there that kind of coincide with this superstition around the number 4. Like in English, you can use numbers in like text speech, but the way you use it is a little different. So some examples here, 1 generally means I agree, or you might see people say +1, like I'm in, I'm joining. Or you'll see something type 5s, which sounds a little bit like crying in Mandarin, and so a lot of 5s means that someone's crying. Lastly, a quick note on conventions. So just like in English, how you will often write larger numbers in Arabic numerals, that is the digits that you see displayed here, as opposed to spelling a number out. Oftentimes in Mandarin, large numbers will be written in Arabic numerals. However, for numbers like 1 through 10, you'll most frequently see that written out in characters. So what are the numbers 1 through 10? Let's take a look. We're actually going to start with 0, which is our 0. So 0 is 0. Can be written one of 2 ways. This is one of the more complicated numbers. So people have also adapted, even in situations where you'd be writing this in characters, they have also adapted writing the 0 like you see on the right. All right, then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Those are numbers 0 through 10. The way that the hands work when you're counting in Mandarin is also a little bit different. We have a cartoon example here for the different hand gestures. You have 1 through 10. I'm also going to just show you largely like this. So for 1, you go 1 to 2, 3, 4, 5. Now where it gets tricky is when you get to 6 or 6. You're going to make like a surfer sign like this, is 6. For 7 or 7, you put your fingers together like this. This kind of mimics the shape of the character. I like to think of it as like a bird, like chi chi chi, kind of looks like a bird's beak. 8 is like this with these 2 fingers. Again, it sort of mimics the character if you turn it like this. But I like to I like to imagine it being the sound of like finger guns, like ba ba ba. It's an easy way to remember. 9 mimics the hook on the end of the character for 9. I don't have a good mnemonic for this one, unfortunately, so we're just going to have to remember that this one is 9. Then for 10, you can do this a number of different ways. This is the way that I would most often do 10, so it's a closed hand, like this, closed fist. That is because the word for rock in Mandarin is also shi, and it looks kind of like this. You'll see people who do this to kind of imitate that the character is like a cross, but crossing your fingers, of course, looks a little bit different. Or you'll see people using 2 hands to write shi, to gesture shi like that. You can choose whichever one you would like, but let's go over that one more time real quick. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hopefully that is helpful. Coming back to here, when you're giving a phone number in Mandarin, it is pretty similar to in English. You're just going to say each of the digits, so from 0 to 9, because of course you won't have the digit 10 in your phone number. If we take a look at our example here, we have 911. You would just say the phone number like that. When we take a look at this one, You can pause for a second, see if you can get this one. This one is 110. That is the emergency phone number in China if you need to call for police or ambulance or a fire station. You're going to dial 110. Let's take a look at this one, see if you can't say this one. So pause, and then I'm going to read it. So this one is 413-867-5309. Same thing, pause if you want to read this yourself before I go into it. Well, this one is 0938, sorry, 0938-931-665. Then our last one to practice, pause if you want to try this by yourself. 711-747-2830. Okay, so again, you're just reading all of the digits like that. One thing to note, if you're in the north, you're going to hear people say yao instead of e when they're saying these digits. That's because it avoids, if you look at the last number, qi, sounds like it could be very easily, if you say that really fast, like qi, you're like, is that a 7 and 1 1? Is that just a 7 that you said really long? Is that a 7 and 2 1s? It's a little bit hard to differentiate. So instead, in northern China, they'd read that number as qi yao yao, which just makes it a little bit clearer. Okay, well, why don't you go through? I'm going to read this with the yao instead. Why don't we try to go through? If you want to challenge yourself, you can pause now, try to read all of them. I'm just going to read them. So we have 911, 110, 413-867-5309, 0938-931-665, 711-747-2830, just like that. So if you want to ask someone for their phone number in Mandarin, you would ask 你的电话号码是多少? To answer, you would say 我的电话号码是 plus the phone number. Why don't we give that a try with your phone number? Take a moment to think about it. You can pause the video. So 你的电话号码是多少? And you'll answer with 我的电话号码是. Right? 你的电话号码是多少? All right, excellent. Moving on, you're not going to just be talking about numbers 0 through 9 or even 1 through 10 in your daily life. You're going to have bigger numbers. We're going to start with talking about numbers 0 through 99 today, and we'll continue to add on other numbers as needed, but we're going to start small. So in Mandarin, 0 to 10 is unique. Each number is unique. We went over that. When you get above that, though, it actually is pretty easy in Mandarin. It follows a pattern. So first, for numbers 11 through 19, you say 10, the number 10, plus the digit. So for example, 11 is 11, 12 is 12, 13 is 13, etc., all the way up to 19, which is 19. Now, if you need to say a 20, a 30, a 40, something like that, you say the 10's number place number. So for example, in 20, our 10's number place number is 2. And then you say 10, so you don't need to say the 0 at all. There's a 0 there, but you don't say it. So 20 is 20, 30 is 30, 40 is 40, etc., all the way up to 90 for 90. For all the other numbers, you're going to say the 10's place plus 10, and then plus the digit that's in the 1's place. So for example, 21 is a 2 in the 10's place, you would say R. And then because it's a 20, we know we would say 20, and there's a 1 in the 1's place, so you'd say E. So 21 is 21, 2, 10, 1. Another example, 45, you have 4, 10, 5, so that would be 45. 99, for example, is 9, 10, 9, 99. Let's put this to the test a little bit. So here we have our example. Why don't you take a second, think about how you'd say that. You can pause the video. So this number is 310.7 or 37. Okay, our next number, let's see if we can get that. Pause the video if you need. That one is 45. Here we have 97. Next one we're going to have is 61. In this case, you would not say yao because it is a number, not just a single digit. So that's why you would not say yao in this situation. You would only say 61, even if you're in the north. This one here is 28. lastly, let's see if we remember this one. How would we say this? It is 50, but we know we don't need to say the 0 because it is just a placeholder to say there's no ones, so we don't need to say that one. All right. So that is it for numbers today. We do have a few other number things that are kind of interesting about Mandarin that we'll go over in a future date, but they do get a little bit more complicated, and we should be good with the numbers 0到99 for now, 0 to 99. So next time we'll go over 百, 千, 万, and 亿. All right. So hope this has been helpful, and I will see you in class.